This series is brought to you by Excel Blitz. It will cover Microsoft Excel 2013 Advanced Edition, and I'm your instructor Adnan Ejaz. In this tutorial, we'll learn how to use some other basic mathematical functions in Excel. In this tutorial, we'll be using Practice Workbook 2. As you can see, it contains an example company table. We'll be utilizing this data to learn some of the remaining functions. In the function examples, you'll find some of the functions that we have already learned. The ones that we are going to learn, I've highlighted them in golden color. Furthermore, for convenience purposes, I have posted the underlying functions we are going to use in this tutorial separately here also, so that they are always visible. Now let's have a look at them one by one. The product function, just like the sum function, multiplies the values in a given cell range. The sum function adds them and the product function multiplies them. In our example, we are multiplying B10 by C10. So 93 times 60.97 equals 5670. The sum product function adds after it has multiplied all the values in a given cell range. For instance, in the example displayed, the sum product of array 1 with array 2 means multiplying all the components of these two arrays and then adding their products. This function comes particularly handy in matrix operations. In our example, we are multiplying range B4, B9 with C4 to C9. And the result is again 5670 as displayed on the screen. Count A and count blank are two variants of the count function. Unlike the count function, the count A function will count the number of cells as long as they have any value in them. Whether there is a number or a text value or a logical value, or whether they contain an error, as long as they are not empty, the count A function will count them. In our example, the count A function counts from A4 to F9. As you can see, that column A only contains text values, whereas the remaining columns contain numerical values, and count A has counted them both. That is why, as opposed to the numerical count, count A has 36. Count blank does exactly what its name sounds like it does. It only counts those cells that are empty. The absolute function is no stranger to science students. It only returns a positive value, even if the value was negative. The rand function generates a random number between 0 and 1. We can use this function when we want to generate a completely unpredictable value. It has got a variant rand between. As the name sounds, it generates a random number that is completely random but between a lower and an upper range. Then there are the round functions. The round function rounds a number to a specified number of digits. It has got two arguments. The first argument is the number or the cell we want to round, and the second argument is the number of digits we want to round it to. The important thing to note over here is that if number digits, that is the second argument, is greater than 0, then number is rounded to the specified number of decimal places. If it is 0, it is rounded to the nearest integer, and if it is less than 0, the number is rounded to the left of the decimal point. In our example, the round function is operating on cell F16. Now the round function can round both up and down depending on whichever is closer. As you can see, it has rounded up to 25,000. Why 25,000? This has to do with this second argument. Since we gave -3, this meant that up till 901, these three figures were rounded up. and as 9 was rounded up, the next figure was 25 over here. Therefore, the answer was 25,000. Now round down also operates on the same cell. As you can see, since round down had -2 as the second argument, this meant that only two figures 0, 1 would be rounded. So as they were rounded down, the answer was 24,900. In the round up, since the second argument was -4, therefore left of the decimal places 4 figures were actually rounded up. This meant that the answer was 30,000, because as 4 was rounded up, 24 became 30. Now, apart from these common mathematical functions, I have also added another sheet to this document which contains references to all the mathematical and statistical functions. You can filter them using the category. Thanks for watching.